So we're going to talk about foot protection. And if you guys didn't see my last couple of videos, I had a really bad, not really bad, but I smashed my foot with the Sherman. It just like hit it like a hammer, basically. It was hard enough to, break the skin. It wasn't as bad as the last time it happened, though. The last time I had a very similar thing happen. I came off, hit the ground running, and the Sherman hit my foot at the perfect moment. But it hit it worse because it was actually tumbling that time. This time it was going like straight, right? So, I came off the Sherman and it was still balanced. It just kept going in a straight line. And as I hit the ground running, at the moment my foot was stationary. When you're running, there's always a point where your foot is not moving when it's in contact with the ground. Well, right at that moment, the Sherman hit my ankle. But it was still balanced, so the Sherman was upright. Do you know what I mean? The last time it happened, the Sherman was tumbling. So it was worse. It was like hitting it. It was like in a hammer motion, basically. The way someone would swing a hammer is the way the Sherman struck my ankle in a perfect shot as well. It was like a good punch, like I'll show you the photo. And it was nasty, guys. And it was really lucky, actually, because something similar happened to someone I know. I posted this on the forums, on the EUC forum, and someone got back to me and said I was super lucky because if you hit your Achilles tendon, it's really bad, Heals out for nearly a year. It can be for life even. If you smash your Achilles tendon, that can be super bad. And that's right there, that's the back of your ankle. And this time, even though the Sherman wasn't tumbling this time, it could have still been super bad, guys, super bad. So that's what brings me on to what we're going to talk about is gear or foot protection. And do you want foot protection or not? Well, as you can see, I still use the same shoes I was using back when I had that really bad accident. When I hit my foot real bad. And that time, by the way, I didn't break anything. I was lucky. That was a blunt force impact, guys. That's not a cut. That is a blow, like a hammer swing. Just the Sherman just smashing into it, tumbling in. And there's no protection there. 'Cause if you see the type of shoe I'm wearing there, I'm still wearing the same kind of shoes. So you might be thinking, all right, so you didn't learn your lesson, right? Why didn't you get some foot protection? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. You can get foot protection. And as you can see, I'm in the motorbike shop here. And there's lots of types of shoes you can choose. There's they're expensive too, by the way, guys. They're these ones here are $700. $700. But you don't even want these type of shoes. They're huge. That's going to restrict your mobility massively. There's no way you want these kind of shoes when you're riding. So then there's these other shoes. And I actually picked these up, by the way, guys. I picked these shoes up pretty much after I busted open my foot back then, the real bad one. The one that happened just a few days ago, it wasn't as bad. I'm just mentioning that. And I'm feeling a lot better, guys, but it's still, I can feel it when I walk, it hurts. But I can still ride my EUC, which is awesome. So I've been riding every day just to do what I need. But I haven't been going for long rides. I need to rest it, as much as I can. But I can get my shopping done and all that, which is awesome. And yeah, so what I'm saying is I bought some foot protection back when I busted my foot open badly, you know, the big one. I was like, all right, I got to do something about this, you know. I can't let this happen again. So I went into the motorbike shop and actually picked out these shoes. These exact ones, the ones you're looking at now. And you might be thinking, so why weren't you wearing them? Why don't you ever see me wearing them? You never see me wearing them, don't you? It's because I returned them. I tried them out. I gave them a good shot too, because when I first put them on, I was like, damn, this is uncomfortable. I can't even feel the road, for one, because they're so thick, so armored that there's like a buffer between you and the pedals, and then you can't feel anything, because then from the pedal to the tire to the road, in all that, it's all lost. The whole feel is gone. So that was the first thing I noticed. And the second thing is, because of the armor on the side, they push your feet out. So your feet aren't sitting tight up against the EUC. They're kind of out to the side. Even off, the Sherman pedals are quite narrow. So it was even, part of the shoe was off the pedal completely. And it's just very uncomfortable. It's not a nice way to ride. But most of all, I didn't feel safe because of all this. Because I couldn't feel the road, I wasn't comfortable, I was in a bad position, it was all compromised. I just didn't, I felt unsafe. Like I wasn't riding properly. I felt like I could crash at any moment, any corner. It was weird. And I did give it a go, like I said. I tried them, I tried to give them the best shot. Probably went about 20, 30 kilometers all up. So like 20 miles, let's say, in those shoes. And I thought, you know, if I keep going, maybe I'll get used to them. After that 20 miles, I felt exactly the same as I did on the first mile. I was like, nah, these are no better. And I just thought, nah, I'm not even going to try these. I can't continue like this. I'll just put my old shoes back on, threw those back in my bag, and just kept riding with normal shoes. And I was like, whoa, this is way better. You know, it's like the difference was just shocking. And the next day I returned those shoes. I was lucky I could. I thought I wouldn't be able to, you know, because I'd already worn them. I had a few scuffs on them, a couple of scratches. But they let me return them, full refund. And that was that. And I'm thinking, you know, in hindsight, I could have given them a better shot. Maybe if I worn them a full day and then the next day I tried them again, went another 20 miles. Maybe after a week even of doing that, you'd get used to them. But I just can't see it being the way to go. Like, if it felt that bad, even after 20 miles, I think even after you get used to them, if you even do get used to them, you're going to be compromised. You're going to have certain habits maybe forming that are going to change the way you ride. You're never going to be feeling the road very much because they take away the feel. And you're going to probably become a different rider even. You know, when you wear just like regular shoes, it's almost like, you know, you're just in direct contact with the machine. You know, it makes a big difference. So that's my take on that, guys. That's why I don't wear foot protection, and I won't going into the future. Because the other thing I should mention is this type of accident where the EUC hits your ankle is so rare. I'm so unlucky it even happened to me again. Because it happened to me already, like the photo I showed you from... That was from like... I can't remember the date. I'll put it up on the screen. But it was months and months ago. Nearly, probably close to a year. And I'm unlucky that reoccurred. The same accident. The EUC hitting your ankle. It's so unlikely. When you think about what it takes for that to happen. For one thing, you got to hit the ground running. You can't, like, if you hit the ground rolling, this won't happen. Because you've got to have your foot stationary relative to the ground. And then you have to have the EUC strike your foot at that exact moment. right? So it's a timing thing. For one thing, it's got to be timed exactly. And the EUC has to keep going straight after you fall off, which is unlikely to begin with. So not only has to keep going straight, it has to hit you precisely on the foot. So it has to be accurate. It has to be well timed. And the EUC has to somehow maintain balance on its own, right? For it to keep going, it's got to somehow maintain its balance, which is exactly what happened to me on this last one. The EUC was like in perfect balance when I came off it, and it just kept going straight. I was like, what the? I noticed it straight away. I was like, dude, this is going to be gnarly. You know, I got to try and get out the way. But I was holding this big box, and I couldn't. I was like, oh, man, it sucked. But the last time, the bad one, the EUC didn't keep its balance. It was tumbling, and it was on like a slope. It like tumbled down the slope and just smashed my foot. Like, that was super unlucky. And what I'm saying though is it's such an unlikely occurrence that you shouldn't worry about it too much, like in terms of wearing foot protection. So that was my take on it. Like, I thought, if it's not likely to happen, and wearing these armored shoes takes away so much from your ability to ride, then doing a risk assessment, it's probably better not to wear them, because it's so unlikely to need them. Yet they are taking away from your riding ability and your riding experience every single moment of your ride. So you could have another type of accident. You know, you could have an accident that you wouldn't have had if you had normal shoes on, because you would have had a better feel for the situation. And that was my assessment. I thought, I'm better off not wearing them. And that's it, I reckon, guys. That'll be the whole video. You guys make your own decision in the end, what you want to do, but that's how I found it. If you want to try these armored shoes, maybe give them a shot, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to like them. And I can't guarantee that you'll be able to return them. And actually, I can almost guarantee that you're not going to like them. So it's up to you. They're pretty expensive too. They were like, the ones I bought, they were just those smaller ones for like $200. And if you get some of those big chunky ones, they're like $800. It's like buying the leg off a transformer. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next one.